once they arrive in the spirit baby ward, we're going to see who they want to call in. And that's where we call in either one of their spirit guides or someone who passed away that they were close to or that they feel called to bring in. And I find that person is often a bridge between them and the baby.
Welcome to The Reluctant Medium, where we cover the gamut of out there conversations. With an open mind and a curious heart, we want to talk about it all. From psychic phenomena and energy medicine to beings from other star systems and out-of-body experiences. You'll find a great balance between grounded science-backed topics and others that science hasn't quite caught up to yet. I'm your host, Dr. Maria Rothenburger, a psychotherapist by trade and a reluctant spirit baby communicator. And hey, even though I'm a medium, I'm not buying everything folks are selling. I just have a voracious appetite to know more about what I call the world of the weird. Join us on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube at The Reluctant Medium. I'll see you there. Hi there. Welcome, everyone, back to the Reluctant Medium podcast. I'm Dr. Maria Rothenburger, your host for the podcast. But as usual, I get to invite another brilliant human to the podcast today. And I have Anne-Claire. And I was like, I think I know you. And it's from a couple of years ago. I can't wait to tell this story. This is so cool. Welcome, Anne-Claire. So happy you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this conversation. I think it's going to be juicy.
Oh, that's a good word. Yes, it is. Well, we get to talk about our favorite topic, spirit babies.
Exactly. Yeah.
All love, compassion, light, beauty. I just love them so much. So can we start with, who are you and what do you do and how did you come to do what you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. So as you mentioned, my name is Anne-Claire and I'm a spirit baby medium. And I have a lot of other labels, but I would say that's the one I use the most lately. And what I do mainly right now is helping women and sometimes couple, but most often women, connect with their spirit babies before they come and incarnate on Earth. So it can be during conception, during pregnancy, or preparing for the birth. I'd say the majority of the women that are coming my way, at the moment at least, are some that I've been trying to conceive for a very long time.
Yes. Okay. Right. So folks who have struggled for a bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how did you start doing spirit baby mediumship?
Yeah, I think there's a type of path that doesn't just like suddenly happen. There's a lot, when you look back, you see like there's a lot of moments that lead you to make that decision. I knew there was something deep. I knew there was something spiritual I was going to do. I just didn't know what it was. And I've been told by a lot of medium that I was medium, but I was like, I'm never going to do that. I'm not going there is no way I'm going to do that.
You're a reluctant medium too.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's mean reluctant? I didn't even know what it meant. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I was like, oh, that's a cool word, but I didn't know that it meant
Now
that.
you know.
Yeah, so
you're the same.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's almost like, don't tell me and stop telling me about that. This is not going to be my path. But, when it's truly your path, it finds its way. And it's really find its way. I would say the strong moment was when I got pregnant in 2019. And during that pregnancy, it just like keep bombarding me through my dreams that I needed to help women to connect with their babies. It was just like keep coming, and it was very strong. And it's like I had to do that. And then we lost that baby around like at 11 weeks, and that was kind of like the way of like, it's like sometimes you need to do something, but you take time to do it. But this time, because of the loss, it just amplified everything for me. And I was like, okay, I need to honor that baby. And they came, obviously, one of the big reasons was for me to receive that message. So to honor their life, I need to do that. So that has been for me like the big turning point into like doing this professionally. But there were obviously a lot of stories before that led to that moment.
Lots and lots. Mm-hmm. I asked this of most mediums and psychics because I'm curious, how it relates to my own story, of course, but other people too, who are also psychics and mediums. Did you, when you were young, did you have an understanding of the spirit world? Did you talk to dead people or see animals or spirits or anything like that?
Yeah, so not in the way they will relate about it, like in movies or things like that. I was really interested with everything spiritual. My parents are both very spiritual, and they were both like healer or therapist, even if they were not necessarily at that label. That's kind of what they were doing. So they will go and see a lot of practitioners themselves, and every time I wanted to go see those practitioners. So I started like a very, very young age, like maybe 10 years old, to go and see some like alternative practitioner. Like at 16 years old and 14, I was already going to do like past life regression. So I was really into all of that. But saying like, oh, they will come and visit me at night or see in the everyday life, no. But that was definitely something that was very present in my life. And I guess the first time someone from the other side, like it was very clear that they talked to me, was like my great grandma when she passed away. I don't even, like I was a teenager. I don't exactly remember what's happened, like what age I was, but she gave me a message for my dad and my grandpa. And I give them to my dad, and he kind of like was really emotional, and like I have no idea what it meant, but it meant something for him that got him very emotional. And I never actually gave the message to my grandpa. I don't even remember what it was, but I was like, oh, I don't have the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there were stories like that. But I'd say, yeah.
Yeah. And so it sounds like you were supported by your parents because they were open and interested in these kinds of things. Yes or no? Oh.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I would say my parents are the kind that it's funny, I've never really shared those stories publicly at least. But when you see them, there is no way, they look completely normal and there's no way you can guess that they receive information and they're very spiritual. So it's kind of like was hidden. And so I grew up also, I think, with that belief of like it's dangerous to show it, and you just pretend you're normal, and this is not something you show to anyone. So, and I guess it's still sometimes present. Like I very rarely share what I do, like when I meet someone in the street, or if I go to pick up my kids after daycare. Like it's rare that people know what I do.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
what if this is normal? Everybody's hiding it.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody is at least a little intuitive, but yeah, well, that's interesting then. Okay, because I was going to ask why the reluctance, right? Why were you saying, no, this is not going to be my path? But now I understand because it was seen as, or it is seen as something to be hidden and not owned, right? It doesn't feel safe.
Like my dad is an artist. He's a painter. He does painting. And through his painting, he was receiving message, but he was helping people and they would end up crying while they came for like painting class. But it had them into therapy and all of that. But I actually wasn't fully aware that they had all of that until I started to see some of my past lives and stuff started to come up for me. And then I called my dad and I shared the story, and then he started to share some of that stories with me. So yeah, it was really like not something that we talked about, like personal development, but maybe not about like vision and receiving them yourself.
Okay. Do you feel safer now? You don't really tell people, I think you said, but you do the work and you have a website and how is it now?
I'm just, I was sharing with you briefly, like at the beginning of our call, like I just changed my domain of my website, and before it was Baby Soul Journey, and now it's my full name. And also people were calling me Anna before, and now I go with my name, Anne-Claire. So I feel like I really just starting to shift into accepting to be visible. So it's on the way.
It is. Congratulations on your coming out.
Thank you.
This is wonderful. Well, I am so grateful to that baby and the dreams that you were having that you needed to be doing this work. I feel like there are more and more of us coming out and really supporting folks who need this work. So well done. I'm so glad you've paid attention and you're listening to the calling. That's awesome.
I think that what you just shared is the it has been the key moment for me, or one of the key things is like, at the end of the day, by not being out there, I'm deserving like the people that need it.
Yep.
And when I started to receive more and more and more like positive feedback and review and like how much it changed, that's kind of what helped me to be like, oh, they actually need it. So I do need, and for them to find me, I need to be out there. So that's for me what shifted. It wasn't like, oh, I want to be more visible. It's like, they need me. It's needed.
They need it. Yeah. Well, they need the connection to their baby, and they're drawn to you for a specific reason. Babies are usually saying, come talk to Anne-Claire, come here. All of a sudden you see her website pop up. Yes, that's the one, right? It's really important. And so, yeah, that's the reason why I started actually, okay, I guess I'll do it. Right. Same reason. Because I can actually be of service. And that's what it's about anyway. Yeah. Right. It's not really about me saving my ego. It's about supporting and serving people. So well done. Go us. That's what I want to say. So I am curious about, so the folks that come to you are you said in general, people who have been trying to conceive for a while. And I feel like all mediums work in different ways, right? Yeah. You've had a reading with me. That's how we connected. We were talking about that, right? I was like, how do I know her? I know her. And it turns out I had a contest or something, like a giveaway. Yeah. And you had entered and won. And I was like, wait, did I do a reading for you? And we did. It's been a couple of years. And I feel like I'm even remembering, I'm very visual, right? So I'm like remembering how you showed up on the camera that day. Feels like there was a big space behind you in a stairwell or something. Anyway, you were pregnant at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But say from like, okay, so you were already a spirit baby medium. Mm-hmm. And you were someone who was getting a reading from a spirit baby medium. So from the perspective of somebody who's getting a spirit baby medium, a spirit baby reading, how was that for you? How was that experience? And do you offer the same sort of experience for your clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was reflecting on that before coming on our call. And, what's happened and how we met and all of this. And when you show the giveaway pop up, it was very interesting because I just entered, I didn't think about it. Really, to be honest, I just put my name because I found out I was pregnant. It was a surprise. And obviously I was able to connect with my baby and to have answers. But it's like, even when people come and see me, that's what I hear all the time. It's like, I'm actually able to connect with my baby, but they're doubting. It's like, so they came and they tell me, oh, I've seen that, and it's a girl, and then, oh yeah, and there's a little boy, and they look like this, and they told me that, but I come see you. And I'm like, why? And they need, and it's like the need for like validation or to hear from someone else that they see the same thing. And it's kind of probably where I was at that point, basically I win the giveaway, and I was like, oh, that's great. It's also a way for me to have confirmation. That was one thing. And then the other thing, I was like, this is so cool to get to see how someone who does the same work as me do it, but in their own way and their own flavor. Yeah. And so that was a very good experience for me to, as I said, like, first to get some validation to see how you're working, and also how you structure your sessions and how you receive message. And also for me, a validation, that was, I think, almost 3 years ago because my son is going to turn 2, and it was beginning of the pregnancy. So yeah, almost 3 years ago. And it's good sometimes to, because I'm obviously a self-employed, and I have no one coming and telling me, yeah, you're doing a good job, or yeah, that's good what you're doing. And to realize, it's almost gave me confirmation to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing good. Like we
Yes.
work differently but similar. We receive similar message, so let's keep going.
Yes, yes. You're right. It's exactly what I find when folks come to see me too. It's that they are already connecting, and the session is really just validation for them, or a way to get more detail to what they already know.
Yeah.
So I love that you're able to provide that for people too. Now, you do something that's really fascinating. I saw on your website, a spirit baby letter. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's new. I just started. I
Oh,
started, yeah, a few months ago, like I think a few months ago. It was, yeah, it was a way, it's because I think there's different thing that came to my mind was like, oh, a session, it is quite an investment. And for some people, it's a lot. Also, I've noticed people were taking time to come to me. There's like, they've been in my mailing list for a while. They've been following me for a while. And when they book, they're like, oh, I've been around you for like few years. And so I've realized it takes time for people to, they are scared and there is fears, but like, what am I going to find? I don't even know her. Can I trust her? Like all of these. And I thought the Split Baby Letter was a way that it's more accessible financially. And it's also less of a commitment of like having to be in front of someone and more just receiving it. And also it's just a different way for me to receive the information. It's like, I feel instead of like going in the split baby world and really connect to who's there and have full conversation with them, it's more, okay, I'm going to connect to that person and their split baby and just channel what they want to say.
it's a channel experience.
So it's a different, yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. How is it different? How is channeling different from going into spirit baby realm?
So because like the letter, it's more like, okay, I'm going to write and tell me what you want to share with them. And if it's the baby talking and sharing with them, they're more sharing about like how they feel and how they, more, it's more in a way, there's a lot of emotion of like how they feel toward their mom. And whereas when we go in the split baby world, it's very different because the parents or the mom have questions. So we are addressing the baby with our minds and like wanted to know and wanted to understand. So there is not that much space for actually the baby to just share love with their mom. Like they do, but it's very different. Whereas the letter is really focused on like, okay, the baby is just saying what they want to say. So usually I don't do, I ask not to have questions from the parents, just to really be like, okay, what's coming through? But some people are, but I just find it touched their heart more if I just like really connecting with the baby and see what's coming.
I love that work. You're right, because most people come with very practical earthbound questions, right? Like, when are you coming? How are you coming? I need to know right now. And to babies, it really is just love. Like, I just want to send you so much love and joy. There are some babies that are like, okay, I want such and such in my nursery and blah, blah, there are some.
Yeah.
But most babies are just so tender and loving and compassionate and just want to wrap themselves around their parents, right? I love this idea. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love that you're doing it. And Go ahead.
Yeah, when I at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that, and I did it with like some of my clients that I knew, and I just asked them, oh, are you interested in that? So just like as an exchange, but the idea is like you give me like honest feedback of like how do you feel when you read it, and what's coming up for you and all of that. So I've done it with like I don't know, maybe like a small like 10, around 10 people. And they were like all like very emotional and keep like reading it. They said, oh, I read it over and over and over. And I was like, oh, what I do reading, there is not that option. I mean, even if there is a recording, it's like to get to the point of the recording where we talk about the word that touch you, it takes a while. Whereas the letter, it's very easy to go back to it. Yeah. And then someone else shared something one day. She was like, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to show it to my daughter when she's going to be Earthside. And I was like,
yes.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yes.
I was like, that's it. I'm for sure offering it.
That is so beautiful, especially because little kids can remember before birth, right?
Yeah.
That's so great. Oh, what a delight. Good. That's juicy. So juicy. Do you feel the veil thinning? Samhain is coming, and with it, the perfect time to honor our ancestors and connect with spirit. Join me, the Reluctant Medium, for a special Samhain circle on October 31st. Together, we'll step into sacred space, call in our guides, conduct some card readings and some connection through mediumship, and overall honor those who've walked before us. Whether you're seeking connection, healing, or simply a deeper sense of belonging during this powerful time, this circle is for you. It's more than just a gathering. It's an energetic portal into wisdom, love, and spirit connection. Spots are limited, so I can keep it intimate, so be sure to claim your place early. Go to drmariarothenberger.com/Samhain. That's SAMHAIN. Come join us, step through the veil, find your connection, and come home to spirit. I'll see you there. I'm also curious, we are spirit baby mediums, right? But mediumship does entail connection to other souls too. Do you experience that during spirit baby readings, that you connect with other souls too?
Yes, yeah. So what I do, the way I practice, so you were asking me, I think, and I might have not answered fully before, like not the comparison, but like how you work versus how I work. The way I do often, I mean, not often, always, is I guide women through guided, they are actually often lying down. And once we enter the session, they're just in a meditative state the whole rest of the session. And I basically take them through a short guided meditation to ground and be present that you were doing as well. And then once I go in the spirit baby world, basically I take them with me. So I guide them in the spirit baby world through the visualization. And I ask them what's coming for them. And we go from there of like, how do they feel? What can they see? But the first step, once they arrive in the spirit baby world, we're going to see who they want to call in. And that's where we call in either one of their spirit guides or someone who passed away that they were close to or that they feel called to bring in. And I find that person is often a bridge between them and the baby. And it's also easy for me because they know that person and I can often describe it or receive some message. So it's also building trust for them to be like, oh yeah, she's describing that person like the way she was. So then it's easier then for them as well to receive the message from their baby. So yes, I do from family members and some like spirit guides.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. I love that the people that you're reading for are in a meditative state with you. Yeah. That's just so lovely. I'm also curious about this is going to be a very specific question, and it's so big with my audience. It probably is big with your audience too, with the people that you work with. So many folks wonder about the experience of miscarriage, pregnancy loss, or even abortion. Can you say from your experience what, in general, spirit babies communicate about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a big one.
It's so huge.
Yeah, I can't tell the percentage, but maybe 70% that women that either find me, the starting point is often after a loss. So it's
Yes.
definitely a big thing, because there's this notion of like, why did it happen? Like, what's wrong with me? Why did
Yes.
this baby leave? And
What did I
also
do
a lot
wrong?
of
Yeah.
emotion and grieving. So your question was kind of, what do I get from the split baby side? Meaning the reason why do you mind saying it again?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious what you have gotten from the other side, from babies, around why miscarriage happens, or how they feel about abortion, even, or pregnancy loss, or infant loss too. They've come into a body and then they've passed away. What general messages do you get? Or you can even be specific. I think it brings
definitely
messages of hope to people, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can share my own story because I actually had a miscarriage, and I actually recently, like 3 months ago, had an abortion. So as you can imagine, as a split baby medium, it was quite an experience to go through. So I'm happy to share about that and what came, and also what's happened with my clients. But I think it's probably easier to share with what's happening in my own case. So for the miscarriage, as I always say, there is a lot of layers to it, and every story is very different. So I think that's important to remember that what I'm going to share, or even what they're going to read in the Split Babies book that most women read before they find us, or what they're going to read out there, you have to always go back to what feels right and does that resonate with your own story. But there is common things that I've noticed for them and for me. There is definitely a teaching or something that is happening once there is a miscarriage. And the teaching can be very different for everyone. But also what I've noticed is if you just had the loss, or if it's really recent, you have no idea what the teaching is, and you can't find the answer until later on. And that's a challenge, like the challenge part sometimes, is that we want to understand the why now and want to know why it happened, whereas often it's later down the road that we realize, oh, if the baby would have come, then I would have not moved home. But then, like I lost my dad a few months later, and I was in like deep grief, and I needed to be present with that. And if I was pregnant and having that baby, it would have been too much for me. Or what I've seen, like so many different, it's often like there's a timing piece of like things going on in their life that when it happened and they're actually pregnant and have their baby, they understand why it didn't happen at that moment. That's why I said it's later that you get it. But there is also, I mean, for all of those women that ended up finding us, it's like a lot of them, they were not necessarily that spiritual or didn't even think of the concept of split baby before. So I find the loss also bringing like an opening spiritually. And that's why I said it's not everyone. It's usually, I mean, in the women that find me and probably the one that find you, I'm pretty sure we can say it's most of the time, but I can't say that it's the case for every baby loss because everyone has a different path. But there is that notion of taking their mom on the different path. And also, so sometimes I ask them, okay, if this pregnancy would have carried on and would I have this baby versus you have it now, do you think you would have been the same mom and you would be parenting the same way and you would be doing the same thing? And a lot of the time they say no, because that event shifted a lot of things in their life or in their relationship or in their spiritual path that then impacting the way they're dealing with the next pregnancy and birth and parenting journey. So in a way, the babies came here to also prepare the type of mom or parents they want to.
Oh, yes. Yes, which is really powerful. Unfortunately, as a human in a body, it takes very strong events to create change sometimes. So, what about abortion? What have you found babies to say about that?
Yeah. So it's same. You've got exclusivity. I've never shared that anywhere because you can
For
imagine.
trusting.
Oh, you're welcome. I don't know. I trust you and I trust your audience. But as you can imagine, when you work on a daily life with women who, that I know I'm close to, and I've been trying to conceive sometime for up to 10 years, and you get pregnant and you decide not to carry on with that pregnancy, it's not something that is that easy to share about. But in my case, yeah, go for it.
No, I was going to say, no, it's not easy to share. And it also speaks to the workings of the spirit realm, right? Because there is no judgment. In my experience, there's just no negative judgment in that way. So I appreciate you so much that you are willing to trust and to move into your experience with that, because I think that it helps the listeners who are struggling with this feel, A, they're not alone, B, they're 100% supported, and C, that the spirit baby realm is like, okay, various responses, but all from love, right? In my experience, but I'm curious with your experience, what spirit babies
No,
have conveyed.
I completely agree with that. And I know for like I'm 100% sure that I also live this experience to help other women to either bring peace into what's happening, or help them in the moment when they're like kind of like, what should I do? Should I like move forward with it? Should I keep it? Should I not keep it? So with the work I was doing, I knew I was pregnant before any positive pregnancy test, and I was not in a place to be pregnant. I told them like that I told the spirit baby what I'm like, it's not the time to come. Please don't come. I had a lot of conversation with them, but I also knew there were some that were very close and wanted to find their way. And they did find their way. And the interesting story is that I knew I was pregnant right away in the conception moment. And I was like, okay, I trust that I can talk to them and tell them it's not the moment, and you can, I love you and all of that, but please come back another time. So I was sure about that because I did help women in that situation in the past, and it worked. Like they ended up like not having to do a medical intervention, but losing the baby naturally. So I was like, oh, I'm sure I can do that. So I tried that. After a few days, I ended up bleeding. So I was like, it's like my ego was like, oh yeah, it's working. Not like you see the emotion, but kind of like, yeah, it's like we're so powerful. And then so I bleed for a few days, and then I ended up in Dolorama, like completely random, and so pregnancy test. And I was like, I really had the call that I needed to bite. So I bought it. And like I was like, looking back, I was like, a pregnancy test in Dolorama, like how can you even trust that? But I needed to bite. And for me, it was kind of like, the idea was like, I'm going to do that test and it's going to be negative and it's just going to confirm that it's over. But I did the test and it was positive. So I was like, okay, what's going on there? Let's sit with that. And I think I really realized that, no, it was interesting. It was like, oh, I need to make a decision. I have the power to make that decision. And then it's like big spiritual thing of like, do I know better or does life know better than me? It's like, I was really into like spiritual journey of like, but what if the universe know better than me? What if my guys know better than me? And that's why the baby came through. Yeah. And at the same time, I just couldn't carry on with that pregnancy for like so many different like reason that I'm not going to go into it, but it just, so I was in a battle of like, what do I do? I was also very aware that talking about it around me would not necessarily solve the problem because everyone have their own experience and belief around it. So, but I still shared with a few, which was in a way a mistake, but at the same time it was meant to be, because then my sister was very supportive, which was actually surprising. But then my mom on the other hand was very judgy, and it didn't go well. So then I stopped discussing with anyone, and I was like, okay, no, it's not about anyone else. It's about what feels right. And I did a lot of meditation, a lot of reflecting, and came to the conclusion that it wasn't the right time for me. And also, if I was born in that country, I'm in Canada right now, and like, if I'm in Canada and it's legal, and if I'm born in a time, there and space that it's legal and possible to do that, that's mean there is a reason for that, you know? Yeah. So I do have the choice. And yeah,
what you're saying is... Yeah. What you're saying is something that I say to clients all the time, is that especially folks who are really desperate to conceive, or who are feeling guilt feelings or shame around abortion, is that what comes through from the other side is that, and not just spirit babies, but certainly spirit babies, they just have the additional love and compassion and yummy feelings. But even spirit guides, ancestors, other souls, other beings, they all relay the same message. This is a collaborative effort. The spirit realm is not the boss of you. Your spirit babies are not the boss of you. You get to make a choice in collaboration with them and your spirit guides and their spirit guides, and everybody's working together. And so there is no shame in that. There's no shame. There's no heartache. There's no desperation needed if you're trying to conceive. It really is a collaborative effort. And there are some things that folks can do to help, bring a baby earthside. But the general feeling of love and compassion cannot be understated. It is it is okay. And in fact, there's just love.
I love that you're bringing like the different dimension, because when I talk to the spirit baby, honestly, like, as you said, it's like there are no, they said, like, it's like you need to prioritize yourself. And that was the big message for me. It was okay to choose me. For once, I have 2 young children. I run a business. Like, there's a lot, and they say it's okay to choose you. And they was actually very supportive of that. And that was a big message, because the due date was my birthday of that pregnancy. Wow. So, which was, adding another layer. Is that a sign? Or is that, is that a sign that I need to keep it or not? And I think from all the realization that I had was, no, it's going to be a reminder, when the date comes, it's going to be a reminder that I choose myself. And it's not like, as women, we tend to prioritize everyone else, and we tend to put our needs last. And in that situation, I was like, no, it's a loving gesture to have me. And also the way I've looked at it, I was like, okay, imagine, because it was difficult to make this decision, like very difficult. So I was like, I need to look at it from different angle. And I was like, imagine I have a daughter, and this daughter come to me and she's in my situation. What would I say to her? And how would I guide her in the process of making that decision? And I think through all of that, I realized, because of where I'm at and what's going on in my life, doing that for me is also teaching my daughter later on that it's important that she's going to choose herself in her life. And doesn't mean that she's going to not be generous and prioritize other people, but she needs to take care of herself first to be able to take care of others.
Yes. It's beautiful modeling. And the spirit babies see that too. And there's something usually grander going on too. There's a whole scheme of things, right? But in general, the shame factor is not that's a human construct for them, it's just, it doesn't exist. So I love that you chose you.
And when you mentioned, like the other dimension, then there were the dimension I really felt like in some past life that it wasn't an option and I couldn't do that at places where like I wanted or needed, or it was needed and it couldn't happen. And I almost feel like a repair and healing through making that decision but not just me, it's also feel like healing from like women, like a lot of women, or even some of my like blood ancestor, but also past life ancestors that didn't have that choice or couldn't do it. I really felt that.
Oh my gosh. You brought choice back into your life and into your energy. That's so healing. How beautiful is that? And this is just another beautiful example of how you just can't get it wrong. Every choice that you make is all movement towards growth and healing and evolution. And I hope that this inspires other people too, to A, not judge themselves, and certainly B, not to judge other people for the choices they make. It's all beautiful and wonderful. So, wow.
And something I might want to add, if someone in that situation, and they're either about to make the decision or they see it in that moment, like the way then, because there is a spiritual side, but then it's like, then you need to take action, like physically, go to see the doctor and all that, and there's different steps. But the way I've decided to do it for my miscarriage and for the abortion, so for both, I did a lot of ceremony. So like for the miscarriage, for example, I decided to let my body do it naturally. And what I've done is like I set up like an altar. I kind of knew I would probably have to go in the bathroom, so I set it up like in the bathroom. But even if I didn't know when it was going to happen, I put like crystal, like the ultrasound photo, some candle. Obviously, they were not light on. I just put the light on next to it for when I will need it, and a letter to the baby, and like I think then I had some rose petal, so I had an altar. And I know a lot of women that come to me and they're about to do that process, and I share that with them, and they actually set up this. They said it makes a big difference.
What a way to honor.
Yeah, and after the process, it's almost like I treat myself, like I got like roses, and took a bath with like all the petal. And then I got those petals to dry outside, and I actually still have them in a bottle, and I feel like it's a connection with the baby. And so there's
you're doing it
some
right.
ritual. And for the abortion, what I've done is like, it's usually if you do it medication, there is 2 parts. And the way I saw it is like the first part is kind of like discussing with the soul and asking them to kind of like leave the physical body. So I did some ritual and discussion around that. And then the second part is more talking to my body to release the baby's body. So different parts. And if some people are interested, I'm happy. I haven't wrote or done anything, but I'm happy to share more if some people wants to know more of like practice that can be done.
Oh, I think you might have a little niche within the spirit baby world here, Anne-Claire. This is amazing. What a way to honor yourself and the baby's soul, right? I just don't know that it gets more beautiful than that. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Well, I will link up to all of your links and everything, but say verbally, where's the best way or where's the best place for people to connect with you?
Yeah, I guess my website is probably the best one. It's under my name, so Anne-Claire Le Bihan. And I'm on Instagram under the same name, but feel free to just message me and say like, I've heard you speaking, here's my story, even if we don't do anything else together, and just hearing you answering a few questions you have. I always love to connect with people. So
that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I'll link everything up, as I said, in the show notes. And thank you once again for being here today. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. That was lovely.
Thank you for joining the Reluctant Medium podcast today. I hope that this episode has brought you beautiful, high vibration and that it continues emanating from your heart space for the rest of the day and beyond. Don't forget to join The Reluctant Medium on patreon.com, and you can also visit thereluctantmedium.us and the Reluctant Medium TV show on newrealitytv.com. Until next time, my friend, may you be well.